Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official Nothing But Games podcast, also known as the NBG podcast. My name is Matt. I am today joined by Mike and Marcus.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola, welcome to the inaugural podcast.
Anyway, our podcast is going to bring you all of the gaming news and content coming out this year, and hopefully for a while. It's been something we've all wanted to do for quite a while. Yeah, and it's taken us a little bit of time to start it up, but finally got things rolling. So, Mike, you started us off. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'm a little Canadian boy. I play lots of games.
Thank you, Mike. Anyway,
that was the most creepiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Anyway, yeah, Marcus, how about you show Mike up?
Yeah, same.
Christ.
Yeah, fucking obviously play games. Play pretty much everything besides PC gaming.
Because he's a pleb.
No, it's the other way around.
No, I'm not
he's
part of the
pleb.
master race. Yeah, pretty much like PC and even like mobile.
Not
Other
into
than
the
that,
mobile gaming.
No, not really. We'll probably get into that like a bunch.
Yeah, when we get 1 million followers.
And
So tomorrow,
yeah,
you're
right
saying?
now I'm playing on PS4 and I don't have a Switch, unlike you two. Maybe in the future we'll see.
You call yourself a Nintendo fan. You have a Switch.
I am a Nintendo fan. I just value my money right now.
As we do all.
Yeah, there you go.
I myself, I guess you can call the Xbox fanboy of the group, considering I play on my Xbox, PC as well. I have a Nintendo Switch, as previously mentioned by Marcus. Currently playing Mario Kart and Breath of the Wild. We're going to talk about that a little later.
My favorite Wii U games.
It's so funny. Those are both Wii U games.
It's fine.
Nintendo.
I mean,
Never failed to amaze.
I didn't pay $700 for this console to play one game. It's fine.
I did.
You bought 2 copies of it.
Yep.
No.
My Wii U version is still in the wrapping. And
You're an
I
idiot.
probably will never open it.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Yep.
It's fine. Other than that,
You just called all collectors idiots, Matt?
He did.
no,
Matt, you hate
I called Mike an
collectors?
idiot. I
Oh,
respect
we knew
All
that.
you Zelda collectors out there, I'm with you.
Anyway, moving on. So, who are we? I guess you got a little snippet of that. But the NBG community, we are a group of gamers dedicated to bring you guys entertainment through all platforms.
We're trying to be everywhere, you know? We're not trying to be one-dimensional. We're trying to have things
Exactly.
all across the board.
Exactly.
Streaming, podcast, whatever.
YouTube possibly in the future.
Yep.
Going to shows, live events. We want to be there. We want to experience it, and then give back to the community as well, because it's something that we've wanted to all do. We've wanted to all join, and I think it would be a lot of fun to start producing content.
Yeah,
So
tell the audience that email if they want to send us questions or anything.
Yes,
Exactly.
please do.
So you guys can get in touch with us. For all the listeners out there, I know we just started, but more or less, I guess I'll mention it either at the beginning or the end of every podcast, or I'll leave it in the description or something. It's nothingbutgamespodcast@gmail.com. You can send us questions.
Send yourself questions.
You can send us questions about things you want to talk about, anything game related.
We'll take any
basically.
topics. You know, if you guys want something you guys want us to talk about, send it our way.
Game wise, game related.
or
keep in mind.
or other.
Yeah, if you got some other questions,
Conversational show.
Yeah, I mean, we can do it at the beginning, right? If people want to know
Yeah, of
something more
course.
about ourselves, yeah, I don't
Of
mind.
course. Like, for example,
what are your- oh.
Flash spoilers. Barry's mom dies.
Oh,
I mean, you know, it's fine.
Good joke, buddy. 10 out of
Thanks.
10.
Thanks. Other than that, it's you can send us any questions you want.
Mm-hmm.
Today, I think we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch, a little bit of
course.
Zelda. Hence why Marcus doesn't have one. Dive into that for a little bit. Talk about possible upcoming events, if you want to talk about that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then possibly talk about some games we're playing.
Some games are coming out soon, too.
Yeah.
yes.
So Marcus, why don't you start it off? You said you were playing on your PlayStation a lot. What are you playing right now?
I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I finally got back into that. I bought it when it launched, but I was just so busy with school that I didn't have time to play anything. I was just all my free time was either just at school, and whenever I was done, I was either sleeping or just playing the little bit of Overwatch that I could, because it's so much easier to just play like a couple games of Overwatch rather than just like dive deep into a story game, because I didn't want to slowly chip away at like Horizon or like Dishonored 2. I would rather just kept playing Overwatch. And plus, especially what they call the freaking like events that they came out. Clearly, we're all big fans of Overwatch here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, fucking hundreds of hours into my life in that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
right now playing Horizon.
I've owned Overwatch twice. Some of us, not currently in the room, 3 different times. The other Mike on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
Well, like Marcus said, it's such an easy game to just like play for half hour. You know, you don't have to like spend 2 hours playing like a Horizon or a Zelda.
Yeah.
You know, you can just pop in, play for a bit, and then to pop out. That's part of the appeal of it.
Yeah.
Plus,
definitely.
it's a real good game.
Yeah,
that helps as well.
A little bit of a review from you. What would you give it out of 10?
What, Overwatch?
No, Horizon.
11 if you could.
I'm not done yet. I'm like still like probably relatively in the beginning. I've been just doing a whole bunch of side quests. But I'd say it's probably up there in like this generation of like the current like Xbox One, PS4 of probably one of the best games, just because of like the amount of polish it has. I'd say it has some problems with like its platforming and stuff, and like it tries to take cues from like Uncharted and Tomb Raider, like the new Tomb Raider games, of like, say you're grabbing on like the side of a mountain or a building, and you know how in like Tomb Raider, Uncharted, you'll see like some of like there's like a yellow plank or like a white section that's how you know you can jump onto that. Horizon does a bit of that too, but it's kind of like janky a bit, and a lot of like things that you can grab onto are just like these white parts of mountains, but it'll be like blending in with mountains that have snow on them, so you're just like totally confused because everything's just white and you know what you're climbing up on. And then the combat's pretty cool. Pretty much having to remove like components from the like robot dinosaurs that you're fighting, so that way like you take off their pretty much like flamethrower, like machine gun, whatever they have onto them, you can just easily detach it. It'll like kick your ass if you try and fight any robots that are higher level than you. I've gotten my ass kicked like a handful of times, but right now it's good. The story's really interesting, seeing like postal pretty much like mankind going back to like prehistoric ages because of how far they advanced.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I have Horizon as well, but I haven't started it, and I was wondering, like, the story, is it like do you care?
Yeah, I care. Aloy is like the main character. She's really cool. It's actually like she's pretty much now, I would say, one of the best like PlayStation icons out there. Like probably up there with like Nathan Drake and like Kratos and Sackboy and stuff. Like they really made this is probably a franchise that's going to go on for a while. I would assume it'd be foolish if they didn't. But yeah, I'd say one other problem that I have was when I usually play games, I kind of like to just go straight through the story rather than having to complete side missions, which is why I wasn't a big fan of like something like Borderlands, because I felt like it was so tailored towards having to play with another person and having to do the side missions in order to continue. But with Horizon, you could have they kind of do the same thing where I feel like if you don't do any of the side missions, you're like severely weakened if you were to just go straight into the story like you kind of have to, which is kind of a bummer. I kind of like side missions to be like something on the side that you can opt into doing. I kind of like to just go straight forward. But then again, the side missions are actually all really cool, and it's not like most games where it's just fetch quests. They're actually all different, which kind of surprised me.
Right, they got to find a balance there. Like if they're gonna make you do the side quest, it has to be like not just like a fetch quest or something. You know, it has to be something interesting.
But yeah, it's got a lot. It's got like not only side quests, but like errands you can do, and like kind of like time trial things of like killing monster or killing robot. I keep saying monsters or robots. Killing the robots in like certain ways. Yeah, pretty cool.
Very nice. Very nice. Mike, we've been playing Zelda. You have clocked what, 150 hours?
Yeah, I just hit 150 hours. I've finished the final boss. I've been playing it sparingly since then. Just kind of jumping in, grabbing some Korok seeds. I'm at 517 right now. And I'm going to get 900 eventually.
It's pretty sad that you
How many are there?
900.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so 57%. It's going to take a while. I'm going to do it. And on shrines, I have 116 shrines. I'm just missing 4. I know where 1 is. I don't know where the 3 are. But and you think about it, it's like it's not easy to find the shrines. If you know the world map, it's gigantic. They could be anywhere.
So, I've been playing the game for a while as well. I don't remember how many hours I'm in it, to be quite honest with you. From what I've played, I haven't finished it. I've been taking my total sweet time with it, considering the fact that, yes, I'm working, school was before, but I've been playing this thing constantly. It also helps that the Switch is portable. I mean, that's the main thing, right?
So many times I would have stopped playing if it wasn't, like... Yeah. Like I'd be sitting on the couch and my parents would come upstairs, right? And I would go upstairs, but usually I'd leave it down, right? But with the Switch, I could just bring it straight upstairs and keep playing.
And just ignore your parents and your family.
Exactly. Who needs family anyways?
Who needs human interaction?
From what I've personally played so far, and I've put a lot of time into it and into everything, so not just the main quest, because I know the main quest you can probably complete in 30 hours or no 30.
Not even. I'd say less than that. If you go straight to each of the divine beasts, you could probably get done in 20 hours.
Probably even less, to be honest with you. Because regardless.
Yeah.
I can without a doubt say that it is probably one of the best RPG fantasy games that I've played in years. Just the depth of this world is insane. There's things around every corner. So the pinnacle was Skyrim for the longest time. Game came out in 2011. Game was great. The problem was with it. It felt empty at points. Like you go over the hill and there's nothing there, and then you go over the hill again and maybe there's a giant or something. I don't know, or there's a wolf. But like it was an emptier world. With Zelda, I'm always finding that there's something to do, something to interact with. Just random what are they called? The ancients, right? Or somewhere.
The Guardians, you mean?
No, not the Guardians. Not
a goblin.
No.
Zelda.
Yeah,
like the rocks that
the rock monsters, yeah. The bosses,
Stone Talus,
the bosses,
and the Hinoxes.
Yeah. So they appear out of nowhere. The world itself is beautiful and lively. Like, you can find the Korok seeds. There's a whole bunch of side missions with the memories and the stuff, so it makes you explore. Each shrine, there's 120 of them. I have never seen so much detail put into puzzles before. Each shrine is so simple, but yet it is this challenge that you can do within about 5 minutes, give or take. So you're not going out of your way. It's not something you don't want to get discouraged from playing. It's not something it's just a bother to do.
Some of the shrines that I played in that game are one of the best designed like puzzle sequences I've ever played ever.
Yeah.
Like there are 2 shrines that I think of in particular. There's one in the Elden Mountain area on the north side. It is like it's a lantern-based puzzle where you gotta like bring lanterns around and light fires. Yeah. It's like one of the best. I can't even say it. It's one of the most well-designed like dungeons or whatever I've ever played. I don't know if you've done it yet.
I haven't done it yet. No.
It's like I recommend you go do it like right away.
Yeah,
it's so good.
And the best part about the game is I've played the beginning of the game about 3 or 4 times now for different people. They've restarted their games, this and that, whatever. Every single time, I keep finding things that I don't find the first time, the second time, third time. Did you know that if you go to the top of the mountain, for example, you get a cloak for free?
Which mountain?
The top of the beginning, like the plateau. If you travel to the top of the mountain, like the very peak, the guy's standing up top and he's like, "Wow, I admire your determination. By the way, it looks cold. Here's a warm coat." Did you know that?
There's actually 2 ways to get that coat.
Oh, is there?
And
really?
I got it the other way.
Oh. He'll
give it to you. He'll give it to you eventually if you want to do that.
I didn't get it at all. That's the thing. I didn't go to his house. Yeah, I didn't go. But I absolutely love that the environment, you can interact with it in any way. So I thought when I first played the game, I got to the mountain, the snowy base. I ran through it, and I'm like, this is cold. It's hurting me. So I ran back. And then I thought, okay, fire. So I grabbed a torch, and I just ran with a torch. And then it eventually went out, so I kept lighting things to like reignite the fuel. But the fact that I just thought something so basic and simple can keep my body temperature up, just like holding a torch beside me, it was fantastic. Like it's just the depth that they went to give you all of these options. I haven't seen it in a very long time. I'd get bored of things like, I don't know. It's just
it's amazing. Their detail, their attention to detail.
The lack of detail in some of these newer games is very disappointing. And Nintendo has. Yes, they delayed it, like, 3 times or something like that? It was worth it.
Yeah,
it was worth the wait.
what, 20?
Yeah, the initial was
2014.
2015.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I remember it was like Halo 5, Uncharted 4, and Zelda
Yep.
were all supposed to come out that year, and I'm like, there was no way all three of those games would come out in
Yeah.
2015.
And then after that, they were trying to get early 2016. That didn't happen. Then late 2016, that didn't happen. And finally, March
Does it ever get annoying though, like having to, like, I haven't played it yet, obviously, and what about, like, I hear having to, like, keep your body temperature up. Doesn't that get annoying or anything? Or
No. So
I can see how it's annoying at the beginning, but like very quickly within 15-20 hours, you have everything you need to survive it.
it's not even. It's probably even quicker than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You can find, like, even in the first, I guess it's the tutorial area, the Great Plateau. You find peppers. Then the game doesn't actually tell you this. You can cook things and increase your body temperature by cooking food and making elixirs and stuff, which I still don't know how to do.
To make elixirs?
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
never even use elixirs.
I
It's
have
so
no
much easier
idea.
to just use food.
Yeah, you cook food together, and it gives you a like a timer or a buffer of how long you can survive in the cold or in the heat or something, right? It gives you those things to survive, or it gives you clothing. So maintaining your body temperature and everything is not as a nuisance as you think it is. Maybe right in the beginning when you have
Yeah,
nothing,
early in the
but-
game, it was like, even I can say, I remember in the beginning of the game, like I was kind of annoyed because it was very easy to be severely underpowered no matter where you went.
Yeah.
But very quickly you were able to level up and start destroying everything.
Other than that, I do agree with the perfect 10 score that it received countless times. I do
The most perfect scores in Metacritic history.
Sorry?
It has the most perfect scores in Metacritic history.
Yeah. I do agree with that. I do think it deserves the perfect score it got.
it seems like they're, like, Nintendo's actually now, like, for years they've just been going to, like, the beat of their own drum, but they finally, it seems like they've finally taken cues from, like, more Western games and Western RPGs like Skyrim and, like, something like The Witcher, where people have noticed that people are making games that Nintendo makes and sometimes even doing them better, but it was, like, finally their turn to like take some of the tropes from more Western studios and
Yeah.
Western games and finally implement them into their own. But do you even think, like, Zelda can exist as something that's not like Breath of the Wild anymore? Can you go back to, like, a 2D game or even something more kind of like linear?
It depends.
As the Ultra Zelda fan here, like I have no idea what they can do next.
So
no idea.
I think if they brought out another game like A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS only, that's the only way Zelda would exist in its previous methods. Something like Ocarina of Time now, I don't think would succeed.
But that's the question, right? But they can't do Breath of the Wild again.
Well, why
Because
not?
they can't do the exact same thing, right? Because all the, I don't know how to say it, like all the discoveries have already been made.
No, that's
Like discovering like Death Mountain or discovering the Rito Village, you can't create that again. So if they do another game that's similar to it, they'd have to completely change everything, and then it wouldn't be the same game.
well, hang
Because
on.
Breath of the Wild was such like a culmination of Zelda that it almost is a great way to end the series, but obviously not going to end the series because it makes so much money. But like it would have been a perfect way to end the series. That's what I mean.
Well,
Because there's nowhere to go from here.
you say you're not going to discover, Death Mountain or whatever over and over again, but don't you do that in every
Yeah, it's
Zelda
kind of
game?
what you've been doing.
Yeah,
for,
but
like-
the way you did it in Breath of the Wild, it's totally different.
well, it is like a different genre than in any other Zelda game. Pretty much.
I think the next step forward would have to keep all of the things that Breath of the Wild did great, meaning the exploration aspect of it, maintaining your health, the feeling of you can die at any point. It is very easy to die in that game. You would think, yeah, I have 20 hearts. No, people just walk up to you and slap you and you're dead.
Yep.
It's not even fair, but it makes you think. It needs to keep those aspects of it, but continue moving forward and making some changes, this and that, right? They need to find the perfect balance of what you're saying. Yes, you can't make the same discoveries over again in the same world, so don't take. It's going to be very odd. It's in a sense you're taking the exploration out of the land and you're moving towards an exploration inside of civilization.
Mm-hmm.
So you see what I'm saying, right? Exploration meaning interacting with people in the environment and people with or just the way life lives out in the new storyline. Because if they continue from that point anyway, we don't know, right?
I'm just happy I don't have to make that decision.
No.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I would bet they might go back to like the top-down 2D Zelda as kind of like a side series for the game, because I think it's going to be hard for them to, like, without having played the game, just hearing what people are saying about it. People seem to love it way more than like Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess,
Guaranteed.
and like pretty much the Wii, like the traditional Wii games, and like even I guess more than like Wind Waker and the N64 games, of having the kind of linear but like kind of open world, but it's very like restricted. I would say they might go back to the top-down 2D Zelda, maybe get the team that did Triforce Heroes and continue them to do like a side game maybe, and then have Eiji Onuma and like the core Zelda team continue on like whatever's next, if we even see another one on the Switch, because not even the Wii U had its own exclusive Zelda. We'll see if another one comes to Switch.
It probably won't, to be realistic. Like, to be honest with you, the next one will probably come for the 3DS, or the 2DS, or that line.
I guess they stopped supporting the 3DS within the next 2 years.
Guaranteed.
That's what I thought too, but then they introduced that new 2DS XL.
Yeah, but they did the same thing with like the DSi and DSi XL. That came pretty late.
True.
And yeah, same with like the Game Boy Micro and all that. I'm pretty sure they're just like winding down 3DS support. Like you see them bringing stuff with like Hey Pikmin and the new and the remake of the Fire Emblem, and then there was like there have been leaks of like the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga remake.
Yeah.
I would say they continue giving, like, these are games that don't require a bunch of support and like a bunch of teams to do this work. So I would say maybe down into like 2018, like early 2019 would be when the 3DS support from first party Nintendo at least stops, because you can't ignore the over like 50 million units that 3DS has, and just go to the Switch. But one of the reasons that's keeping me back from the Switch is there really isn't too much right now and even announced to play with it. Like, yeah, I really want to play Zelda, I really want to play Mario Odyssey, but I want to see what's coming out. Like, will they have the balls to actually put the new Pokemon on the Switch first? A part of me thinks they could, but deep in me, I think they won't do it, just because of, we saw like DS how they had Black 2 and White 2 go on the DS before they made X and Y on the 3DS. I would say they support the 3DS, and then maybe next year, or even 2019, we'll see you get a Pokemon on the Switch. We'll see. They have to start making the Switch their top priority rather than also supporting the 3DS.
Question for you. This is a little bit off topic, but you mentioned Pokemon. Do you prefer the new style of Pokemon or the old style? Meaning, would you be okay with them scrapping the way it looks now and going back to the little top-down character that's like 5 millimeters big?
I would love that. That would be cool,
absolutely
but
love that.
They won't do it.
I know.
If anything, it'll probably be, I think they're probably going to try and do something way different, because now they have to optimize it for an actual like television and for like a home console rather than just a handheld. So I wouldn't be shocked if you get something even more in the vein of like Pokemon XD or Pokemon not Colosseum.
Stadium.
No, I think it was Colosseum.
It was Colosseum on the
Colosseum
Wii.
on GameCube. There was Pokemon XD and then another one that they had. I might have been Colosseum, not entirely sure.
Stadium.
No, it was Stadium.
No, Stadium was the N64 one.
That was the
right.
But yeah, the two GameCube RPGs that they put out, but
Snap.
they were Pokemon Snap, overrated. I'm sorry. But Pokemon X, yeah. Did you ever play any of the GameCube ones, Matt?
I did. It was just the battling. That's all it was, right?
No. They had two full RPGs on the Switch. On the GameCube. It was Pokemon XD, and I can't remember the other one, but they were completely different, just in the sense that it wasn't just like going to catch Pokemon. It was pretty much traveling from town to town and having to, like, the Pokemon were infected. They were like shadow Pokemon, and you had to like purify them before you could actually get them.
I remember this now. I don't think I ever owned it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, my GameCube came with Pokemon XD, and I want to say the other one was Pokemon Colosseum.
I think it was, but to be quite honest with you, I think they need to completely change the Pokemon franchise. I absolutely love Pokemon. And I was super bored with the old game, with the Pokemon Sun and Moon. I was super bored with it.
Yeah, they made it way easier than I'd say any of the other games.
It's not even that. It's just the fact that, so for example, you think like why do people constantly play the same game over again? It's because it's the old style. That's what they like, this and that. I think Pokemon has dragged out the style for the last 20 years, and they haven't made any changes. So people like me and you, for example, it's me and you. That wasn't a Pokemon. I apologize. Sorry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I see what it did there. Anyway, I think they dragged out the style too much, and then it's just getting super repetitive. And a lot of people that I've been actually talking to feel the same way, where it just gets boring in a sense. Like having just go catch everything. Cool, go get... Well, they took out the gym badges, but that didn't help it in any way. It kind of just killed it even more. But
yeah, I just think they might... If they do a third version of Sun and Moon, if they do Stars or Sun and Moon 2, I think that'll come on 3DS just because they'll probably build it upon the existing engine that they already have, that they've been using. And then they're probably tinkering away at whatever's going to be on the Switch. Maybe a new generation, maybe a remake of like Diamond and Pearl, or another remake of another one. We'll see. But I don't think that this year or the next Pokemon game will be on Switch, because it was annualized for like the longest time. The only time they took a break was in between Omega Ruby and
Alpha
Sun
Sapphire, and then Pokemon Sun and Moon. I think what you're saying is right. They're probably going to keep this style one more time for the 3DS. On the Switch, I'm hoping that they bring an immersive Pokemon game, kind of like mixing a little bit of the Breath of the Wild exploration aspect into it, where you're running between town to town. And think about a Breath of the Wild with Pokemon. How would that be? How would
I know? I haven't played Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Breath of the Wild with any game franchise would be amazing.
Shut up, Mike. Think about like this: the exploration aspect of Breath of the Wild. I'm assuming you've seen and heard enough to have an idea of what that would feel like. That with Pokemon, so you're moving from town to town. There's actual distance you need to travel between these places, and the map is massive because it's an entire country.
Yeah, it's what people have wanted, like an open world Pokemon game.
Yeah,
I think it could work. Like people have also like talked about like a Pokemon MMO. I don't think they'll ever make that. Like,
it exists. It's on the computer, and I've played it.
Yeah, like fucking Pixelmon or whatever.
No. So it took Fire Red and Leaf Green, that world, and they made it into an MMO. It's unreal. It's just
Nintendo would never do something like that. Well, the Pokemon company wouldn't do anything like that.
It's third
But
party.
Yeah, I think they'll just do open. Like, I would be willing to wager that they kind of do like an open world kind of thing in terms of like just opening the style of how like X and Y now to Sun and Moon have been, where they finally made it like in a 3D space. I would say they just make that a bit more open.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a bit janky controlling your character on the 3DS, like the circle pad. It feels kind of restrictive. So
overall, apparently this has turned into a Nintendo episode.
Nintendo's the only thing that
it's a good way to start. It's fine.
Talks about Horizon. We're good.
It's fine. Let's move a little bit then. I guess we'll keep with the same theme. Games that are coming out this year for the Switch that we know of: Splatoon 2, ARMS, Mario Odyssey. Opinions, suggestions.
Don't forget Fire Emblem Warriors.
Anyway,
if that comes out. Oh, and Xenoblade. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's not coming out this year.
No way.
What are your thoughts? Splatoon 2. Let's start with that, Mike. You're.
I'm the only one that played Splatoon here.
You are the only
one
that
played it.
Splatoon.
I just.
Okay, you didn't buy it.
I never owned it.
I tried the multiplayer test, and I just really didn't like the way the game controlled.
It's very janky, to be honest with you.
I totally disagree. It's so smooth. I haven't played it in a long time, but when I remember playing, it was really fun.
I don't know.
And like I wasn't even that good at it too. Like I was pretty bad, but I still had fun with it. I don't know, the movements from being a kid to being a squid and then just popping out and killing someone with your what's the weapons called? I don't remember.
Splat charger.
Splat something.
Oh, God.
It's pretty fun.
I don't know. Are you gonna get Splatoon 2, Mike?
Undecided right now.
I guess.
Well, I didn't get a chance to play the global test fire they did a couple of weeks ago because I was not home. If I would have liked to play it so I could see, but like it's basically just a Splatoon port. As much as they're trying to sell it as a sequel, it's not.
It's just a Splatoon port.
But they haven't mentioned the single player yet, and that's like I'm really curious if they're going to even do one because it's only been like 2 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've had time.
Like a lot of what's on Switch is like Wii U leftovers because Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game.
Yep. Mario Kart 8?
Yes, Mario Kart 8 is a straight up port. Splatoon 2, as much as people like to call it a sequel, it seems as if it's just like a prettied up Splatoon 1.
And like I'm not saying that like as like trying to be derogatory or whatever. Like I love Splatoon, but like that's what it is. It's
even
support.
Even Mario Odyssey, I'd be willing to bet that was in development on Wii U, and
Guaranteed.
then like
Yeah.
I'd bet like in 2015 they were probably like forced to like switch over to the Switch.
Yep.
Pun intended. And then but yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're gonna show off at E3. Hopefully they show a lot of good stuff, because other than like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, like Splatoon 2 doesn't get me interested. ARMS, they haven't really been showing too much that's been like exciting for me. So hopefully they show off a good bunch of good stuff.
I was surprised by ARMS. Like when I first saw it, I'm like, oh, that doesn't look very fun. But then like the more I've seen of it, it actually looks pretty like intense.
Well,
which is not what I expected.
This is going to throw you off totally. Because I work for NEB Games, some managers had the opportunity to play the game, my manager included. According to her, the game was a lot slower than you would think. It was, which is super surprising, because you look at the direct that they showed for ARMS, where they introduced a couple new characters, this and that, whatever. The game looks pretty fast and intense, when realistically, being played by people who are not familiar with the game, it's pretty slow, and they're kind of just staring
It's
at
very
each other.
in depth. There's a lot of like maneuvers that you wouldn't think would be in there that are.
Yeah.
I feel like that game's gonna have a really steep learning curve. So people that play it for like an hour or 2 hours won't have the same enjoyment as someone who really gets into it and learns all the moves.
To be quite honest with you, I think it's one of those things that is going to become 1-2 switch, where it seems cool, takes advantage of the technology, this and that.
But 1-2
whatever.
Switch never seemed cool.
But just
That's a good point.
it's kind of like in a sense Wii Sports, where it had a whole bunch of mini games you can play with, whatever, showing off what the Wii did, right? That's what I think. It should have been a game that came with the console.
1-2 Switch?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I think ARMS is going to turn into something like that as well, where it's like, okay, this is probably going to be something that's going to be bundled with the console 6 months down the line anyway, because
I don't think it's that
I don't
kind
know.
of the small game. I think it's a legit game that we just kind of think is a smaller game. But like,
I don't know.
that game is going to be
Well,
full priced,
it's
$80 Canadian for
first
sure.
party Nintendo game, so they're pretty much going all out with it, where they're doing like the kind of like one big game a month so far, where April and pretty much May had Mario Kart, and then June will have ARMS, July will be
Splatoon probably, I think.
August maybe they'll announce something at E3. There's that like Rabbids and Mario RPG
There's
crossover.
Sonic, 3 Sonic games coming out?
2017, Sonic 2017, or Sonic Forces is what it's
Forces,
called
yeah.
now, and
Yeah.
then Sonic Mania.
There's Sonic Mania too. Yeah, I think that's August. I know it's summer for sure, so I think
Yeah,
it might
but
be
that's
August.
multi-platform, and
True.
but there are games coming out. There's that like new that new NBA game, which kind of looks like
Playgrounds?
NBA Jam. Yes, NBA Playgrounds. That looks cool. That would be like a game they show off on Switch, but that would be cool on Switch. But they even had that like NBA 2K teaser in the initial Switch trailer.
And we've heard
NBA
nothing
Yeah.
since then.
And also there's Skyrim later this year for.
Oh, that's
and-
right.
Skyrim is
Forgot
coming
about
out.
But that's a 6-year-old
NBA
game. So
NBA 2K18.
that. Did they confirm that?
For the Nintendo Switch is confirmed. You can pre-order it.
yeah, and FIFA and
FIFA's not pre-orderable yet, which I don't know. We're gonna see it at the EA Play event anyway, on the
Yeah.
Monday.
And but yeah, I feel like just the Switch in general, it's got a lot of. It seems like a cool system. Like the actual system is really cool. Like playing your guys' Switch, and it's just the games that they have out for now. It's kind of bare bones. Same and like with the future of it, because you're not getting with like the Switch is competing with Overwatch and Red Dead Redemption 2 and like Mass Effect Andromeda and everything else that's coming out this year. Like all these big games that people like that aren't going to be on the Switch later this year, which I guess like you have to know if you're buying a Switch, that's not the kind of stuff that you're going to get. You're pretty much just going to get your Nintendo games and probably indie support, and that's pretty much it. If you're cool with buying it like that, I'll probably get one in the future because I bought Wii U day one and I enjoyed like the games like Captain Toad and Pikmin 3, but feel a bit burned of having like 4 or 5 years with the Wii U and pretty much getting like with the last year and a half of that console's lifespan, pretty much getting nothing. and it being neglected. So
I don't know. It's
What do you mean?
Yeah.
You got Color Splash, man.
Color Split. I haven't played that game yet. And even the online service, they like for them to actually go like the Microsoft and Sony route of having you pay for an online service, they better freaking make sure that it's worth it, because right now it's absolutely not, because I don't think people are really going to want to continue playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe later on in the year with like, if they want to continue playing Splatoon 2 or even ARMS Online. I wouldn't be shocked. My theory for the longest time was when they make the online service, when you have to pay for it, I was going to guess that they probably announced the Smash Wii U port for Switch, so that way they could actually have something that's an online game that people would want to pay for to play online.
yeah. When I think of Nintendo, I think of couch co-op play. I don't think of online service play, to be quite honest with you. And a lot of people have the mindset now. When you want online services, you think PlayStation, Xbox, PC. That's what you're thinking. Because Nintendo grew up, I guess, in their gaming side of it anyway, with things with multiple controllers. That's how people remember it. That's how the old generation looks at it. I don't think the online service is going to do well, like you're saying, unless they have something big come out. Mario Kart's going to die, ARMS won't carry it, and Splatoon definitely will not carry it. Like online service.
I would say Splatoon 2 would be popular, but
In Japan, it'll carry it.
yeah.
Yes.
Splatoon is so big in Japan, and it makes no sense at all. But
No, it
it's
makes
huge.
perfect sense in Japan. That's their home market. That's
No, but I'm saying like Japan's not big on shooters.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
big on Splatoon, which makes no sense.
well, okay. Splatoon, it's its own genre of shooter. Let's be real for a second.
Yeah.
It's yes,
But I think if you had asked people before Splatoon came out if it was going to be this big, everybody was going to say no.
well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's pretty much their newest big franchise ever since.
It's one of their top 5
what,
franchises right
since
now.
like what,
Yeah.
Pikmin?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the first new
WarioWare.
IP since-
I don't
yeah.
even remember like
Which is
their last
crazy.
big one. But yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like the online service, if they don't come out with something like you're saying, it's just going to crash. It's not going to do well.
If Fire Emblem Warriors is online, now we're talking.
well, no.
Regardless,
I liked Hyrule Warriors. I
Hyrule
never
was
played a Dynasty
great.
Warriors game, but I had a lot of fun with Hyrule
I actually
Warriors.
considered buying a Dynasty Warriors game because I liked Hyrule Warriors so much. But then I realized I probably won't like it the same because like Zelda
not
super
Zelda.
fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I'm gonna get Fire Emblem Warriors for sure.
Yeah. The only other thing would be I don't know. It's very. And then there's when's the preview for the? It started. It's live now, right? Like the service is live now, right? For the Switch internet.
No,
No.
and even like because everything is supposed to be compatible through an app apparently
Yeah.
that's on your phone, which is kind of annoying.
It's
Having
super
to have
annoying.
another device with you, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of the Switch being like portable and everything. You having to have another device with you, and
Well, I think for that part they're trying to tie that in with like Miitomo and
yeah,
Super Mario
and
Run.
apparently like they're going the route of like giving you free games every month, but supposedly they're just like SNES and NES games, which are like games that I've bought like a million times and I've played so long ago and played so many times. They're great games, but you're pretty much giving me like a $5 game for free. While on like you look at PS Plus this month, you're getting Tales from the Borderlands. Xbox One is giving you what I remember they gave you like Rise, Son of
Yeah,
Rome,
Son
and
of Rome.
Assassin's Creed.
It's like a $90
Yeah,
value every
Revelation,
month
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Like it's insane, like how on Xbox One you get pretty much 4 games. On PS Plus you get
2 of them.
You get up to like 6 games, being the PS3, PS4, and Vita games,
Vita,
and a lot
yeah.
of those are cross buy. So sometimes you're getting 6 PS4 games, which is like freaking insane. While on your Switch, you're pretty much getting NES or SNES game, but
And what's weird about that too is that you can't keep it after the month's done.
Yeah, like-
you don't have it after you have to pay
Wait,
for
really?
it after that. Yeah.
this is what I'm saying is like
It's very confusing.
like one step forward, 2 steps back, or whatever.
Yeah.
Where they're making good decisions with the actual hardware itself. It looks cool, but just the decisions they're making with like their software and the online service, it's kind of annoying.
It's classic
It's
Nintendo.
old Nintendo, yeah.
And then the whole couch co-op thing as well. You want to buy 4 controllers?
Yeah,
You may as well buy another Switch.
$400. It's annoying.
Pro controllers in Canada are $90 a piece.
$90.
And
After
a pack
taxes,
of
it's pretty much like $100.
it's $100.
So
A pack of 2 Joy-Con is $100.
it's
Not including
ridiculous.
So that I mean, in conclusion, free service. I mean, the internet service should be free. Let's be real for a second. I I understand that the technology and the Joy-Cons are something different. And the Pro Controller, to be quite honest with you, feels very nice. I absolutely love that controller.
You were saying like the service should be free.
It should be free.
I think like we live in a day and age where it's pretty much expected that if you want to be online, you have to pay. I'm not mad about you having to pay for it. They need to do something that makes it worth paying for. Yeah. With only having like 2 or 3 games that you can play online and giving us like old games that you're going to take away from us. Like, it's not worth the $50-$60 they're going to make you pay probably a year for it.
It can't be $50 or $60. Mm-hmm. If it is, that's a huge mistake. They have to go in lower.
And especially with it not being natively on the console, having to use an app on a phone or a tablet or a computer or whatever, it's going to be annoying.
Yeah, I guess they did it that way because it's like, okay, people are going to have their phones on them anyway. And then kids earlier in age are getting mobile phones or tablets or whatever because mobile gaming exploded.
But you can see the logic, but it's just weird.
Then there was all these issues of like the left Joy-Con disconnecting, saying not to keep your Switch next to like your phone or stuff. So then like, how are you can even have that?
Yours did that once. Only one time at my house. Mine's never done it to me, ever. Which is super odd. I've had another person's do it, which was kind of weird. But I'm like, I've never experienced this, so oh well.
I'm not sure what caused that.
Yeah, I think it just could be the receiver in the Joy-Con itself. But
but I'll probably wait later on to get a Switch until like maybe I'll still end up getting one this year just because I really want to play Mario, but. Yeah, I'm a big Nintendo fan. I own like a shit ton of Amiibo, and the fact that they couldn't get me day one, it's like they really need to show us stuff. Like I'm really excited for what they're going to show at E3 this year because you look back to when the 3DS was first launched, like their first E3 press conference after the 3DS was out already. That's when they showed off Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon, Kid Icarus Uprising, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario 3D Land.
Okay, time 3D.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff that like Star Fox 64 3D. They just announced so much. So hopefully, if they go that way with like the Switch, that'd be insane.
Luigi's Mansion 3 on Switch, please.
Well, we will see. We will see later this year. Considering the fact that, and I'm going to announce it right now, we're going to E3 this year. So expect
big news.
Big news.
Wow, I didn't know.
Since February. We're going to E3 this year, which is great. And just looking forward to that. We're probably going to do a podcast. In LA? I'm saying we do a podcast in LA.
On the plane podcast.
We're gonna do a podcast
on the plane, just completely bother everyone.
You're right.
halfway through the podcast, excuse me, sir, would you like some peanuts?
That'd be great.
Yeah. So, thank you. What are your thoughts on the E3 Expo? I'm sorry, what?
We're flying United. We get dragged off.
Nice.
It's fine. It's all good. It's fine. I'm being dragged and doing the podcast at the same time. So, breaking news. I'm being dragged off of the plane. By the way, E3 is going to be great this year.
By the way, I really like the new Mario game.
I got farther and farther from the mic. It's fine. It's okay. We've more or less hit the mark. I think we should call it here for this episode. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We upload on Fridays. Around, let's say, I don't know.
Don't say a time.
You're just going to disappoint people when it doesn't come at that time.
Okay, you know what? We won't say a time. It's fine.
Whenever we can on a Friday.
We'll probably
get around a proper schedule soon.
High noon.
Stop.
Sorry. I apologize.
Wow. That was good.
Thank you. It's for the lulls. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys soon in the next episode, probably next week. And then
say that email again.
The email, if you guys have any questions for us, nothingbutgamespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Ciao.
I'm recording now. Okay.